to do that right. Period.
That's why I know how to do it right.
Period.
It's just you just at the end, just you know. Okay, we gonna work on that.
Okay.
So,
what's up, y'all?
What's
going on?
What's up? Welcome in. It's morning from us, so good morning.
Good morning.
Come on in.
Have a seat.
Have several seats.
Relax.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be talking about a lot of things. It's not even like one specific thing.
Yeah, we're gonna touch it, and you know, we talk organically, so we might shift to another little avenue. So so today's current event is this post that we saw on Instagram. So I'll just read it really quickly. So it says, they're disrupting supply chains, destroying food systems, manufacturing scarcity and inflation, making it as hard as possible for people to make ends meet, so that when they usher in their new system, the unprepared will be forced to comply in order to live. So on this post, they asked for solutions. They supplied some. Do we want to talk about our feelings on that, or do we want to talk about their solutions and then?
I think we can go ahead and list their solutions, and then we can just make comments on if we believe it or not.
Okay. So they suggested to grow your own food, support local farmers, pray and meditate daily, get tight with the local community, get tight with local supply chains, find a passive source of income, learn principles of common law, become the most badass, healthy, resilient, vibrant version of yourself. Okay. Come through.
So I definitely agree with all of that. I definitely, me personally, I recently, like last week, went and stocked up on all my dry goods, all my canned goods, all the things that we need, because I'm seeing little things. And I'm like, okay, yeah, we're about to get hit with another part 2 stay-at-home edition. Mm-hmm. No, for real, because we got this monkeypox going around. People not talking about it.
But it's going to be like Corona when nobody was talking about it. All of a sudden, we were stuck in the house.
It's 7 cases in Chicago.
You was just telling me it was in Georgia. That's exactly what happened with COVID, because I remember it went from, it's in China. Then, it made it to the U.S. We got to wear masks. I can't go nowhere. Yeah. It was like all within a week span.
Yeah. And I'm like, so no people's not talking about that. In Kansas, there was not 400, but 3,000 cows that just dropped dead. And then the farmers had to stated that it wasn't even because of the heat wave.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
So what it was, like, what's the problem?
Mm-hmm. And then the heat wave, it's supposed to be
the heat wave,
a massive heat wave, so bad to the point they're canceling flights in advance. Like, I know I live in the South, and it's supposed to be like get up to 115 degrees.
That's
Baby, it's already hot.
That's what I'm saying.
To be doing that.
Yeah.
So, y'all.
So I would definitely suggest people to stock up. You guys aren't gonna see this until it's probably already been time to stock up. But I'm sorry.
We could talk about
tried.
After. Yeah, we tried to let y'all know something. Yeah. Maybe we could do a little sneak peek and be like, we'll stay tuned.
We'll get you together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. And I'm actively doing that. I'm actually starting my garden. I got my little stuff that's back there. I went to Home Depot yesterday and bought me another thing so that I can go ahead and start some more herbs and things of that nature. Because they won't catch me slipping. I'm sorry. You're not going to catch me slipping. You can't
be out here like, if inflation, if the pandemic, all that stuff didn't show y'all anything, like, you cannot and should not depend on the government for anything.
Nothing.
They want you to. There's some things that, like, okay, when you really down and out, you utilize it to put yourself on top, but to keep being steadily comfortable with it is not okay.
And don't think that y'all gonna get another stimmy, baby. It's over with. They just gave $1 billion to the Ukraine. Why? Who knows? But baby, that was our stimmy money. So
no, but the stimmies is like the reason we in inflation, because you gave us all this money. The money does not have the same value anymore, so they have to raise everything up. So
but I'm saying, don't look out for no handouts, because you're not getting it. No. Like, they just gave y'all money to Ukraine. So
and like they said, that's what I said to that part. Passive income, that's very much real. Like, in passive income, like some people are like, oh, well, I don't have a business. Passive income is you making money without doing anything.
Yep.
It's not having another business, because another business, until you put it into position to become passive, it's still active. Like, you're actively having to do stuff to have that money. But passive income would be things like stocks, or, you know, you can, if we were to get another stimmy, instead of going and buying the latest Jordans and a fit to match, go buy you a vending machine, go put that in somebody's barber shop or a beauty shop. That's passive income. Mugs be hungry in the salon, okay? Like, so stuff like that is like, you don't have to think about it. You waking up and money is coming into your account. That's important, as well as what Key was talking about, growing your own food. I'm trying to become a plant mom. I haven't started anything like herbs or anything. I did grow some microgreens. They grow so fast. But I did grow those. But I'm trying to figure out what small condo gardening looks like. But still gonna have to. I heard of, what's that with the water? Aqua something.
You put on your porch.
True.
You have a whole porch.
True. So that's exactly what's about to be in the works. Because, like you said, they not about to catch me slipping. I'm not be out here needing nothing for y'all. And I've been stopped eating meat. So that's very alarming. But I knew before, because I feel like the government never endorses anything unless there's a money scheme or an underlining behind it. So when they started advocating for this,
endorsing it on the American Heart Association page to eat meat.
No, and not even that. I was gonna say exactly.
But like, come on now. We know better.
And very on the breast cancer awareness.
We know better. And if you don't know better, you need to get educated, because at the end of the day, they are tricking
Matter of fact,
you.
we can link a couple links below of, like, I'll follow some people that I follow, or documentaries or anything. So if you are interested and don't know where to start, go ahead, links below.
Please educate yourself, because they're betting money on you not knowing. Like, seriously.
And like I said too, they're endorsing the fake meat. Now, as somebody who doesn't eat meat, I'm not going to say I haven't dabbled here a little bit of that, but that's still processed. That's not healthy. But my mindset was, why are you endorsing fake meat if everybody eats, like, everybody's not just becoming vegan. So there's a story behind that. So now when these 3,000 cows die, and you have no choice but to buy impossible meat, and they can put whatever, and you're relying on it,
you're just putting yourself up to another disease that they're going to discover
that they said is plant-based, so now you think it's healthy.
No.
One of my shout out to Arisha, I love her. One of the first things she always says is, the front is for entertainment, the back is for education. Make sure you read that back, baby. The back is going to let you know what's in there. Because in the front, they be like, oh, it's got all of this. Without this, and it don't be nowhere in the back.
Definitely check your sources for sure.
Yes.
So, after all of that, we're going to get ourselves together to go ahead and go into our next topic, or our main topic, which was based off of an episode 10 of the For Sure podcast. Shout out to them. We've been using them because I love the show, right? The podcast.
I do too.
And they give us so many points where it's like, I really want to expand off of it, or give our personal opinions on it, because it's just...
They be talking. Oh, so she not calling.
Okay. So yeah, I just like the podcast because, you know, it gives us the opportunity to talk about and debrief about what we watched.
Exactly.
So going to episode 10 with Tabitha Brown. I love me some Tabitha, and she's good.
Okay, all the bad.
Get into the
and she better. She better.
So,
all your local targets.
The reason why I love her so much, and the reason why she sell out so much, is because she's being authentically herself.
True, authentic self.
Like, she's not putting on a front for no one. She's showing you guys what she believes, and she's standing 10 toes down. She's talented. Like, the woman is just badass.
Yes. And she's so, like, I feel like you could feel her spirit. Like, I love her voice.
She definitely, God definitely put her in this path to touch people, for sure. For sure. So, what the first thing they were talking about was consistency. So I feel like with this business, we are going to be challenged with staying consistent. And I think that's why we work so hard to make sure that we are staying consistent, and hopefully we can continue to give the proper content that we wanted to get to the people. So when Tabitha was talking, she was saying that, you know, she was creating content for 2 years consistently, not because she loved it or wanted to do it. It was because she was being obedient to God, because God told her that she needs to post a video and she needs to, you know, put herself out there. How do you feel that being consistent contributes to your business? You have the tax business. How do you feel like credit business? How do you feel that the being consistent contributes to that part of your life?
Yes, that really, like, I feel like that was one of the times that gave me chills, or it was just like, yeah, this for you. And there was so many times on that, but that was definitely one of those where, you know, like before, social media can, especially when you compare yourself to others or just things like that, it can become very discouraging. And when you are putting yourself out there in a business, like my personal page, like, you know, if I could post a picture or something like that, like I get a decent amount of likes, like, you know, and then in comparison to like your business page, you like, why y'all not over here with this? Like, you know, like, but when she said that she was consistent for, what was it, a year or 2 years, and barely had any like likes, nobody was responding, and then it was like, boom, then it was like, you know, one thing that she didn't plan that out to be like, this is gonna make me go viral. She was just doing what God told her to do. So that really spoke to me, because I'm like, you know, like I was telling you, I'm learning how to do, you know, the like aesthetically pleasing things of like, you know, the business, like as a small business owner, you are also the content creator. And that has not been, I'm so wowed about what people do with content, but I'd be like, I don't got the time, the patience, but now guys like, you gonna have to. So, that's been new for me. And so I'll spend hours doing something and just to put it out there and get like one like or no like something. So now, so when she said, be consistent no matter what, because God called you, because God really did. I remember when I was first started this, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for free. I was giving out credit gems. I was doing people's credit for free. And I was like, if I'm still interested in it after doing it for a few months for free, then let me continue. And I still was. And then God was presenting opportunities, tools, resources. People was coming out the woodworks and was giving me stuff to help me become better. So I'm like, this has to be God. So then also I went through a depression spell, like, you know, the winter is very hard for me, you know, from like time. I feel like it's all a time of us, you know, lacking vitamin D and all that. But also being, I think it finally set in that my brother had like really been gone. So it was like even more. And so I wasn't consistent then. And then I had to pull myself out of that. And when I did, I was like very happy to come back out, and God like embraced me again with a whole network of people who do credit. So it's like they on my app, like, girl, do you know what you doing today, or you know, stuff like that. So I'm very, very grateful. So consistency is so much key. But when you are really doing what God wants you to do, He is going to show up and even force you to be consistent, even when you are in those dark days or those dark paths of like, yeah, I can't be consistent. He gonna pull you out and make sure you're good too. So that's why I love that she said, like, I wasn't doing it because I wanted to do it, because God told me to do it. So I love that, because He gonna let you know this one for me, not for you.
So how do you know God told you to do it? So because she talked about like hearing God's voice, she was stating that, like, you know, how she heard God's voice, and we're talking about Tabitha Brown. She was stating that how she hear God's voice is it sounds like her mother. It's a whisper. How do you know when God is telling you to do something? How do you hear Him?
That's a good question. I hear Him in different ways. And for a while I did struggle with that, because like my pastor used to tell me like God whispers, and like He's a very calming voice, and you know, anything that seems loud and uncertain would be, you know, the devil and stuff like that. So I'd be like, God, we not talking? Like, I thought we was cool, you know? And then I also have dreams, but I've only had one very vivid dream that was like, I know this is God talking to me. All the other ones are like, I'm still in the process of trying to interpret them. So for me, sometimes it's like symbolic things, or even sometimes when I get chills. So like when, I was like, you know, kind of going through my rut of like, okay, you know, I was kind of getting worn out by the credit because now I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff for free. I still enjoyed it, but now I'm like, do I want to do this? Because then there's the clientele, everything that comes with it. And a old friend of mine, we used to work together. I really view him as a mentor. Shout out to Kills. That's my dude. But he, you know, we just check on each other. We're birthday twins. So we check on each other random. How's the family going? You know, all this. I told him I was getting the credit. Girl, he was flooding me with research. He was like, I used to do it. I don't do it no more. Matter of fact, I want you to do my credit because I let it, you know, all this stuff. And I just got chills because like you came out the woodworks. We ain't talked in years. We always stayed cool. But and then he would randomly send me stuff that was like looking out. And I'm like, I wasn't even looking for this. God came through. And then like I said too, when I fell in that depression spell and came out, there was a guy who's on my Snapchat who started getting into credit. He's like, I want us to work together. He put me in this group chat. The group chat booming, like they got resources. I done created a whole like spreadsheet of resources. And I'm like, I did not look for this. This came to me, and I'm getting chills talking about it. Like, so God would like confirm, you know what, even when you are not not being like, maybe you were doubtful or whatever, I'm going to show up again and show you this is what you need to do. Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't have worked out. It would have fell off. I would have fell off, and that would have been it. Like when I tried to make the content and I got frustrated, I'm not doing this. So God, I think he shows up in different ways for me. Sometimes I can hear him. Sometimes it will show up in a dream, and sometimes it will be chill. So I feel like God is multidimensional. I can't put him in a box and be like, God, well, for me, he only does not talk to me in that one way, which I'm grateful for, because sometimes I don't be listening. But how, like, you know, in that same turn, what, like now that we doing this business venture, like, you know, what's going to help you to stay consistent? And like for this, how did you know that this, like, did God speak to you on us doing this? Like how, you know, can you confirm that?
So for me, staying consistent, I don't know. I just feel like when I really want to do something, I'm a person that I do procrastinate. Like that's me, but I thrive in procrastination. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And I'm the kind of person, like, if I'm not overworked, I'm not doing nothing. So, like, if I don't have 12 things going on at once, I don't even want to do the one thing. Or it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just hard for me to just focus on the one thing. Because you feel like you got so much time. Yeah,
I can get to it.
Exactly. So I just think continuing to make myself busy, knowing that I got things to do, that helps me stay consistent. And then about hearing God's voice, like you said, I hear it in various ways. I don't know. I be having a stillness within myself where I just know, like, I'm supposed to be here. This is needed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. It's instinctual. Like, literally, like, it's just literally when I'm doing something, I know if I need to do it or not. Like, it's not really a sign or anything. It's inside. And then, like, I guess I can get the confirmation later on. Or no, it could be like in the moment, like in the midst of it. I get the confirmation, like, I get the chills, or something will pop up on my timeline where I was literally talking about it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't ignore it. You know, some people would just look at it and be like, okay, cool. But I don't ignore it. I'm like, all right, God, because I look within everything for God. Like, I'm the type of person that, like, with anything I'm doing, the birds is a little loud.
They like, yes, God, yes, they trying to be into, that's our audience.
Right. But no, like, when I'm doing anything, I look for God's face. I look for God's presence. So that makes me want to be more in tune in what I'm doing to make sure that I'm pleasing God, because that's a constant prayer for me. A constant prayer is like, please, God, let me do something. Let my purpose be your will, and let your will be shown daily. I want to make sure that I'm making him proud, like, with everything. So that's how I know, like, he just put it in me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, because then that takes away the doubt of, like, am I doing this? I love that. And I don't know if maybe that's just y'all personal relationship, or if he gave y'all, or if maybe people have to work up to that, like, once you know you get to a certain point. So that's so interesting to me, but that's beautiful. But like, I definitely can understand, like, nah, God said to do this.
Yeah.
And then I love that even though you were already like, yeah, this is what he said, he was like, I'm going to reconfirm. Just in case you had any doubts, I'm going to let you know again.
That's another consistent prayer, though, because I have doubt. Like, I be like when I feel it, I do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, okay, am I just supposed to focus on this? Like, career-wise. I always find myself in a dark place career-wise because I'm like, Lord, show me my purpose. Like, I wanted to rush him. Like, show me my purpose now, what I'm supposed to be doing so that I can start doing it. Like, I can start now. You know what I'm saying? Like, give it to me.
Why you gotta wait?
Right. So I always be like, just, like, when things pop up, like, with my game cards, I was like, when that popped up, I'm like, okay, God, can you give me confirmation that this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he still haven't given me confirmation, but I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or when it was with the podcast, I'm like, all right, I feel like this is right. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it wasn't really, I didn't get like an overwhelming feeling. Mm-hmm. But I just knew it was right. Mm-hmm. Like, and then when you confirmed, it was like, yeah, I think this is right. I'm like, all right, there's my confirmation.
I always knew we was going to work together in some capacity just because of how similar we are. And like, God always shows up in conversations, you know, all that stuff. So I'm like, this energy has to be given to other people. We just didn't know how. We wasn't going to rush or press the issue. We were just like, God going to reveal it one day. And he did. And we was literally on the phone talking. But when we said that, I got to chill. And for me, that was confirmation. Like,
see,
finally, you got it.
And that's why I said he gave you your confirmation, and then you saying, "Oh, yo, this is meant." That was my confirmation.
Exactly. So, and he worked, and that's how he worked with us.
Yeah, he worked. Yeah. So making sure that we like genuine in what we're doing, and continue to provide the content that we feel like God led us. Because we could just use the example from yesterday. Yesterday we were recording, everything was good, and then we started talking about this one topic, and then everything just stopped working. Like the computer wasn't recording.
We did like 5 takes, y'all.
Like literally,
finally, I was like, God,
it's time to go to sleep.
It's either the topic or God's like rest. Yeah, and so we had to listen. Like go to bed.
Go to bed because we want to make sure that we're genuine in what we're giving, and making sure that it's not just coming out our mouths, but it's coming out our souls.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, so let's talk about like we can even talk about like with our current business ventures, or we can talk about what in the past, like when we want to do something, the voices of other people and how it affected us and caused, maybe ripples, or it boosted you to do things. Because, sometimes it can ignite you to like, I'm going to show you wrong. Or it can make you feel like, I think I should just step away from this. How would you say outsider voices contribute to your path?
I would say like, and I didn't have to, for the most part, I have a very supportive family, but when people go through their ruts or, they going through their dark spaces, they may say words that they may not truly mean, but come out in that way. And so in those instances where I've had family doubt me, that would be my ignition of like, oh yeah, because you going to be here. Like, so you going to see this. Now, outsiders, like people that I don't really know, or, and I've never really heard friends doubt me. Like, it could be in the back end, but I feel like that's not my business because God didn't show me. But like other people, outsiders, I tune that type of stuff out. So I guess my ignition is like my family that I listen to. Now I've learned, and I'm still learning how to take constructive criticism. I feel like just because you might say, yeah, if you're being genuine of like, yeah, that didn't really work, or that's not working, or maybe you should try this. I love that. I eat that up. Like I love that because that's only going to make me better. But someone just flat out being like, nah, that ain't it, like, or you can't do this or something like that. That's definitely fuel to the fire of like, oh, now I'm going to show you. But it's not even like I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove myself even more so because I got somebody in my ear that's trying to be in my head that I'm not allowing you to.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that. I, on the other hand, my immediate family, I'm not gonna say that they're not supportive, but my ideas and dreams are so big they can't even see it. So
you can't always share that.
Yeah, but it's like you try to
incorporate. You want your support system.
Yeah, like I'm just talking to my family about things that I'm thinking about, this, and they're just like, oh, okay. Yeah.
You can
all
always
right.
tell when the energy shifting. That's when
Yeah.
you gotta stop talking. Like when somebody don't have that same energy, because like they tell you something, you okay? What you need help? But when you tell them that same thing and that energy ain't the same, yeah, go ahead, save it, baby, because they over there hating.
But all they make you just be like, I just can't wait to prove you wrong. Like I just can't wait till you see, and I can just be like, I told you so. I'm that person. I'm sorry. I am that person. I told you so. Because like I be trying to tell people stuff and they look at me and just like, oh, whatever. And then it happened, I'll be like, told you so.
And I feel that, and even shout out to Cole, got my man's Cole on here. But Cole say, never let them know your dream so they can't shoot it down. If they don't know, they can't put them thoughts into your head, all that. But if you know that's fuel to the fire, then of course. But some stuff I do feel like is exactly what you said. It's too big. Like sometimes it's too big for me to comprehend. Only God knows. Like I feel like that's with this podcast, you know, stuff like that. I also feel like that, you know, it was with my credit when I was first starting. People like, what? Like, you know, stuff like that. Some things you do need to hold. It's like a baby. I respect people who don't really post their baby when they first start, because babies is babies. Then people do have ill will and all that stuff. So you can hold your baby, you know, and protect it for a little bit before, because the world is the world. It can be very evil, and people be spiteful. People don't know their own purpose or don't know how to start their own business, or you know, and channel that energy and turn it around and be envious of you and wish bad things onto you. So you do need to be careful with that. But yeah, sometimes them visions be bigger than me, and I be like, that's only God, and if I can barely comprehend it, I know you can't. So you just gonna have to see it in the end, baby. You just gonna have to see it when I see it.
No, that's facts. So I definitely experienced that. And also growing up, like, people used to hate, I wouldn't say hate, but I want to say hate.
They was hating.
No, but I don't want to say hate, but I feel like they wanted to fit in so bad that they wanted me to fit in. Like, for example, like, I used to dress, anytime I didn't feel comfortable in shorts, and I didn't feel comfortable with my arms out. So I like hats. So like if I had on a jacket in the summertime, not a jacket, but like a sweater or something in the summertime with my shorts on and a tank top, they'd be like, why you got that sweater on? Like, but it was consistent to a point where it was like, dang, can you let me be me? Like,
why
you worry about me? Like, or why you got that hat on? Take that hat off. I think you should take, like, nigga, like, I want to wear my hat. Like, leave me alone. Like, you do you, and I do me. Like, what's the problem? But, like, that stuff, it, like, eats at you. Because, like, I remember myself in college, I'm like, okay, should I be wearing this? Like, okay, should I take it off? Like, should I, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you're in a new environment by yourself, and you don't want to look like the odd one out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, like, that creeped onto me, in which it took me a while to get that off of me. Like, why am I doing this? Like, that's not me. I don't feel like this is me. So, I definitely say the outsiders can definitely get you, but it's important to know what's you and what's them. Because if you can distinguish the two, then you'll know to always go with you. Like, leave them alone. Because them is going to be the world, and you going to be the star.
And plus, I think we talked about this before, but 70% of our thoughts are negative, and I think they'd be the outside. So like sometimes it might be stuff you scroll past, stuff from your childhood that parents was telling you, stuff you heard from outside. Like somebody could be like, say you was having a conversation and somebody was talking about somebody else, but now you start doing that, or you're thinking about it. Now you thinking about, oh, they gonna think this about me. So it's easier said than done. But every day is a journey of trying to tune that stuff out. And you ain't even got to just say, okay, because if you 70%, you can't only have 30% with the thoughts. You need to start filtering those out for positive thoughts. So that's really important for how you begin your day, or how you start in certain things. Like for me, I always wake up and say 3 things I'm grateful for before I touch my phone or I do anything else. And then when I'm driving to work, like in Georgia is just so beautiful, like with their trees, and they call it a canopy of like how many trees are just like that. And I just drive, and I'm driving down these winding roads, and I can't help but to be grateful for the things that God is showing me. So those start my day off for like, now I have more. Now, I mean, I might still be at like 40-30% negativity, but I feel like every day I'm knocking down 1% to where now I can try to be consistent, consistently thinking more positive thoughts. And people think you crazy. I'll never forget, I was being intentional, but not intentional. Like, I know the bigger picture. But when I used to play softball, and shout out to, I had many softball teams, but this softball, if you know, you know. So it was a bad season for us, girl. We was losing like every game. But I just kept like being like, no, we're gonna be positive. Cause me, I'm like, we outside, like we having a good time. Like, I'm not about to be mad. So it was this one girl. She would always say negative stuff. I'm like, no, I would turn around and say, like, cause the place that we played at was called Optimistic or Optimist or something like that. So I was like, we got to be optimistic. And she was very pessimistic. So she'll say stuff on purpose and I'll flip it around. And every time, how are you staying so positive? At the time, I didn't know, but I literally like, and that's just been what I have.
That's funny because my coworker recently said that. I have a coworker, he's always down. Like, he's literally always down. And I'm just like, Dave, we having a good day today, huh?
Okay.
He's just like, why do you come to work every day just so happy?
And people like, be needing it. They be knowing they be needing it.
I do, because we woke up like it's a good day.
Okay.
Like, how are you always in a good mood? Because why not?
You need some of this. Come on, babe. Come on, I'm gonna give it to you.
Like, why not?
Exactly. Why are you not?
Why not?
Yes. It's a blessing. Because not everybody can feel that way. And I mean, I've had times when I haven't been. Yeah. So that's why I'm even more grateful when I can wake up. You know, because I'm like, I know when I'm looking at you like, baby, you doing too much this morning. Now I'm the do too mucher.
Right. No, thanks. And the roles could flip. And I'm going to need you to be the one to say, all right, Kiana, you're not yourself. What's going on?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Joy comes in the morning.
Exactly. So just going back off of like what we were talking about, like other people's perspectives, let's talk about reality versus perspectives. Because, you know, with social media, we get all these different stories of what we think people's lives are, but in reality, it'd be the whole flip. We can use Will and Jada as an example. You know, we had this whole idea of what their life and relationship was looking like, you know, in the forefront of social media. And the flip of it is like all hell then broke loose. You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel, or what do you think that, you know, I guess personally, how do you think that people are taking your what you post on social media, your perception, and not understanding the reality of it?
I like that. Even a question came in my head like, am I trying to give off a specific perception, or am I trying to show my reality? I feel like we all, I can't speak for everybody, but I know some people are like, you know, y'all will never know, you know, what I'm going through, or you know what. And I feel like you do have to be limited in what you share, and I try to be very positive on like social media because there's so much negativity.
But I feel like that's the problem, because everybody only, not saying for you personally, but I'm saying the reason why people feel like they get this perception of these people is because they only posting the positive. They're not posting, of course. You know, they're supposed to posting the negative.
True. And there's a down. So now I'm trying to find that balance. Like now I'm trying to be a lot more transparent about my losses, like having lost my brother, and when I do get to a more healed place, I do want to share and expand on that more, because I like exactly what you said. I just recently had a friend of mine lose her mom, and she was just like, and I told her, I was like, you know, honestly, I know words don't do much. And so, you know, I'm not going to write this whole big thing. I was like, but you know, God got you regardless. Like, he had me. So like, you know, that's the, you know, it sounds very cliche, but like, you know, I know words only go so much. It's really the actions and just checking in and all that stuff. So she was like, she's like, oh, I definitely know. And she was just like, I just hope that I can do it like you. And I'm like, girl, no, do it better. Because, you know, I'm like, I done been through, like, it's been a hot mess. But like you said, I didn't really post that, or that's not, you know, what people have seen. They've seen the positivity, or if they've seen me come through out of it. They haven't seen what I've been through. They've seen, you know, the outpass. So a lot of people think like, you know, I've just been taking it, you know, and as opposed to, I see some people who really go through that state of depression and only post that depression, as opposed to they may start feeling better and maybe you're not seeing that part. So I think for me, because of the audience I'm trying to reach, I want to heal like people, and I want to be honest with people, and for them to know that this is real and openly talk about grief. I'm trying to find that balance, but also I do that for me of like, right. If it's too much negativity going on my feed, I need to find them little positive things and repost that, because I know I need that. I'm sure y'all do. Mm-hmm. So I know if nobody else is being intentional about being positive, I have to. So I guess as far as like perception, I think perception and reality is like, I'm still learning what that looks like, even in a day-to-day, like personally, because we and I've always said this, like, perception is so interesting to me because we could both watch the same TV show and talk about it, and even like we said with these podcasts, and have two completely ideas of what happened, or have an accident happen and we have two different stories. That's your perception, how do we find what's the actual reality? So I'm learning that through like psychology and my therapist and stuff, of like, especially with conflict resolution within relationships, of being like, okay, this is my side of the story, this is your side of the story. What can we take out that's both the same? And how can we hear each other's perception, but also be stuck on reality? So I don't really have all the answers for you, because it's something I'm still learning, but I think I love that God still allowed us. Like, it's not just, y'all got reality and that's it. I feel like it makes the world a very boring place if we only had that. So the fact that people do have different perceptions, and we have the opportunity to listen to people and hear them out and marry those and also include reality is very interesting to me. But how would you say that perception and reality works in your life? First, with social media, like, are you putting out a certain perception? Are you not trying to show your reality? And then how does that work in your personal life?
I'm the type of person, and this has been me since I was young. I don't like talking on the phone. I don't like, like, I want to be, like, I don't want to talk on social media. Like, I'm like, let's link. Because I want you to get the full version of me, and I want to get the full version of you. Like, and I feel like social media is like that. Like, you only get that one picture of somebody looking good out and about, and then you come up with this whole idea.
I'll be so cute on social media. Don't catch me at Walmart, y'all.
No, seriously, like, you get this whole idea of who this person is, and it's like, for me, I don't post on social media because I just don't want people in my business. Like, I feel like if we're not in this close we don't have a relationship where you have my phone number or I can reach out to you, then I don't really, but my DMs, I'm like, if I see something, I always give people their props. I always give people their flowers and stuff like that. And I have noticed that people act very weird. Like, if I'm like, hey, you look good or whatever, or I'm like, oh, this is awesome, or something like that. Even if I only know you from social media, sometimes the reactions I get is like, I'm a groupie or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm like,
it's this girl. It's very weird. You get very weird vibes. Because it's like, nigga, like, first of all, it's not like I'm a complete stranger. We know each other from some capacity. And it's like, y'all think that because you got this social media glory, that you are just this girl, like
this, like when they be like, I am her.
Have several
of them. Because I went to high school with you. You was not all that. Like, we went to the same Birmingham high school.
It's giving too much, and it's like that would make me want to withdraw. But that's not me. Like, that's not me. I support people. Period. Regardless. I don't care if you don't support me. I support people regardless. If I see something good, I'm going to support it. If I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Like, I haven't seen you or I ain't talked to you in a while. That's just me genuinely just checking up. Like, that's just me. But again, I can understand. If I have to play both roles, I can understand people thinking like, she just trying to be in my business.
You got a vendetta,
I can get that. But at the end of the day, that ain't me. No. So, like, I just give what I need to give, and if you can't take that, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But that's on, like, social media is very weird and iffy. That's just like online dating. I can't do that shit. Because first of all, you never know what you get.
I don't know who you is.
I don't know you. You could be a whole other person on the side of the phone.
Seriously.
Like, I can't. Like, I'm sorry. I can't think about it. I can't do it because it's just like, it's very weird to me. It's very weird. And that's how I feel social media. Social media is very weird. Yes. Like, real life weird.
Yes.
People act so different on social media than they do in person. And that's that reality versus perception.
Yeah.
Because on your social media, you see like this happy-go-lucky person, open, all this stuff, and then you hit them in the DMs, it's like, what?
Nah. People, I feel like sometimes people don't know how to navigate that space either. Or some people, I was just talking to somebody about this, but some people have been telling themselves all their lives they have haters. So, and for real, like real life think they out here, like they think they Will and Jada. Like they think they got real life haters. And to the point of like when somebody is really like trying to support them or, you know, tells them something constructive, because they like, you was a hater, baby. You ain't got no, you the hater. You ain't got yourself. You're not even allowing support and love to come to you. Because girl, the same thing happens. I'm very with like, you know, hyping people up and stuff like that. And I love seeing people walking within their purpose.
Yes.
So when when I see people that I used to grow with, and I'm like, yes, that's what you're supposed to be doing. I'll be hyping them. I'll be getting some, you know, the little dry thank yous or the like, you know, or they'll post something. And like, I feel like if the shoe don't wear, I'm not going to wear it. But, you know, I know when somebody trying to do a little something and I just be like, but I didn't really do that for you. Like, I genuinely felt that way, and I wanted to outwardly express that, so take it as you will.
But I feel like we don't need to stop that.
No, I'm not going to stop being me because y'all being you.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, because I catch myself, like, I would put, when people do that to me, I put their ass on mute. No, for real, I put their ass on mute. Like, because I don't want to see it and then accidentally say something again when you gave me that energy in the first place. So, like, I put your ass on mute, and I call myself doing that. And, girl, recently, I'm like, why I haven't seen all this good stuff? And I was like, oh, because I had their ass on mute. Like, that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah, because you was acting funny.
Yeah, right? So, I have to catch myself in that. Like, don't allow people to change me because they being them. Like,
exactly.
Because I will definitely, I'm Scorpio. I will revert and be like, fuck you, nigga.
Them horns.
Like, fuck you. And I don't want to be around you.
Okay,
like, seriously. Don't want to see nothing.
None of that.
Okay, so, that, I guess I just go to the point of like, if you don't know them personally, don't take it personally.
Baby, that was a whole word. Like, that's been, like, since I've heard that, I've been saying that to myself every day. Like, I was on the phone with somebody asking some type of question, and she instantly had attitude, like, no, you supposed to do this. Baby, I did that. And then I rolled my eyes and took a deep breath, and then I heard, if you don't know them personally, don't take it personally. And then I thought, I'm like, they probably short staffed. Like, so I started finding myself giving her grace. They probably short staffed. Yeah. She could have lost somebody in her family. You know, so I'm doing all this because we don't know what people going through. So that really helped me. But now I'm like, even if I do know them personally, I need to start learning how to not take it personally. I'm not there yet, y'all. So, you know, if you know something, drop a comment what's helped you. But it is helping with the stranger. So once I fully get to that point, I'll start working on the personally. But that was everything for me. Like, that's going to be the word of my life. Yeah. Like, because I'm, as a Cancer, I take everything personally because I just be like, I wouldn't do you like that. No, that's why are you doing me like that? I feel like that's definitely the water signs, but I'll be like, I wouldn't do that. Like, I overthink situations because I want to make sure that I'm not hurting people or I'm being intentional about what I do. And then I see somebody take what I did, you know, and take it all types of way. And I'd be like, I'd be hurt by the fact that you thought that I thought like that, you know, type stuff. So I take all that type of stuff personally.
That hit me because
like, you don't know me.
No, that hits me because like it really hurts when it comes from family. It really hurts when it comes to people that you are really close to. And it's like, why would you even think that I'm coming from this? Have I ever treated you this way? Have I ever done something to you like this? Where is this coming from? Like, why would I randomly say, oh, this is the day I'm going to act like a bee? Like, or this is the day I'm going to treat you like nothing. Like, why?
But I'm also learning that people project a lot. So it's not that you genuinely feel this way about me. You got something going on with you, and that's beyond me. And I tell myself that, like, I was going through it yesterday with some family stuff, and I told myself that it helped a little bit. I'm still human, so I'm still working on that. But that deal was like, you not doing that in response to anything I've done. You got some issues that you ain't worked through with God, your therapist, whomever, and I'm just getting the brunt of it. And so, but I get to choose how much I'm going to allow that to affect me. And so that's what I have control over, because I believe in there they also talk about, like, you don't have control over other people, but you can have control over how you respond to things. And that's what I'm working on. Because you're not about to get that energy from me. Because like you said, I'm a good person. I'm continue to be the person that I am despite what you got going on.
And just to that, like, they could be good people in a bad season.
In a bad season.
And like, I feel like sometimes giving grace is stepping away. Sometimes giving grace is like...
Because me being here, that ain't going to be no grace. Because God's still working on me, okay?
No, seriously, we human at the end of the day. And I just feel like when people are treating you wrong, and then you're trying to explain to them, like, why you're not treating them, that's not my character, but they got this in their brain, like, no, that is your character, then it's like, the best way I can deal with the situation is stepping away from the situation and allow you to sit in it. Because I know me, and I know my heart and my intentions, and you got your own perception of that.
But because I know me, God gonna reveal that to you. So sometimes it takes years for people to come back and apologize and be like, blah, blah, blah.
But sometimes you don't get it, because I'm gonna give this example. Somebody I don't even know from mechanic, like, we know each other because we like mutual family, but like they never known me as a person. They only know what social media or what they heard another family member say, right? And when I was in Texas, I got into this incident where the mechanic hit me in my face.
Huh?
Yes. This is real shit. Like, so the thing was, he had my car for 2 months trying to fix
I remember that part.
The AC. Yeah. Okay. And I'm like, first of all, why is it taking this long to fix the AC? Because he was working on other people's stuff and not working on my car. So I'm having to pay for Ubers out of my pocket, all this other stuff for 2 months straight because you couldn't fix this car, right? So it comes down to me getting my car, and he told me one price, and now it's a whole nother thing. And I'm just like, dude, like, you had my car for 2 months. Now you want to change the price on me. Like, you didn't say nothing until the day of. Give me my car. Like,
no, I'm not playing with you.
Like, just give me my car. Like, whatever, right? I go to reach for my key. Because he's driving the car. Because he had to pick me up and take me back to my house. I go to reach for my key. He tugged on my hand, and because I didn't let go of the key, he hits me in my face. This is real life. So at that point, now we're fighting. Because you didn't hit me in my face. Like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't hit me in my face. So now we're fighting. Now we get to this. Now, the dude, the mechanic, was referred to me by this person. Okay? So, police get involved, all this other stuff, right? The person is talking crazy about me, talking to my mom, all this other stuff, right? And this is the part. She's a godly woman.
Who you really worshiping?
No, but that's what makes me question people, because it's like, okay, you don't know me. You taking the word of this man because you know him more than me. But at the end of the day, you didn't even ask me. You never asked me about what happened on my side. You just strictly taking this word of this man because y'all friends. But you didn't give me the grace to even to say my side of the story. And then on top of it, she still didn't. She apologized because she didn't speak when she came in the house, when I was in the house, and she didn't speak. But she still didn't give me the opportunity to say what's needed. She still got me in this box of, I'm this terrible person, but don't know me. Don't know me.
Don't want to get to know me.
Don't want to get to know me, and that's fine. But this is where it comes back to that reality versus perception, because you taking everybody else's word and didn't even take the time to get to know me. So now it's like, okay, fuck me, basically. You know what I'm saying? And when it came down to it, it's like, how could you do that?
No. And I read a post that made so much sense, but it's like, they said that you can be a superhero in some people's story, and you can be a villain in other people's, and you can be, you can be a what's that called? A background, person. Like, And that's okay, because that's your story. And you know what? I can't write your story for you. I can just live my own. So as long as I'm the best version of me in my own story, whatever you got going, those other, and I get it, like, as humans, that hurts. It's always easier said than done, because you like, but I'm starting to come out of the business of, I need to prove to you who I am. Either you know it or you don't. Because I feel like it's a gift to know me.
Yeah.
So if I allow you to get this close, and God allows you to, and we've been through stuff, God wanted you needed this. God could be shielding you from something that, like, because if she doing that, baby, you want nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
She got a whole bunch of, so I feel like now I'm learning that when people are starting to see me in a way that's nothing like me, I'm going to let you have that, because as much as you think that, like, you protecting yourself, God is protecting me, because I don't want to be around you in that essence, and it may not be forever. Maybe you said it's like a good person in a bad season.
But it's like, because we didn't have no relationship in the beginning, and now you just put the nail in the coffin for me, because like I can't even trust your guidance. If you know what I'm saying, like, I can't trust. And the funny part is, I was looking for her guidance because she was this godly woman. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get into the mix and stuff. And, you know, I would ask questions, you know, like just trying to figure out some stuff. And when she did that, it was just like, okay, God was just telling me that's not who I need to be looking towards. Like, that's not a mentor.
And he was protecting you. Yeah. Because you was definitely about to be like,
I was definitely about to go all in
like,
with
you
it.
Good.
Yeah,
you
for
good.
sure.
I got something better for you.
Exactly, for sure.
And he gonna do it every time.
For sure, every time. And that just goes back to, like, the freedom of being yourself, like, allows you to be free with everything you're doing. Yeah. Because when you, I feel like that just goes to knowing yourself. Like, when you know yourself well enough, you know that any room I'm going in, I could be myself. Because if I'm myself, it opened the doors for me. Like, I don't have to do nothing else. I don't have to do tricks and giggles and stuff like that.
No, have to fake. You never return it. And I love that. I'm still, as I'm sure everyone, I'm still coming into who my full self is, and I'm ever evolving. But really coming into terms of, like, this who I am, I'm showing up authentically. I don't care who, what, where, when, or why. Of course, you know, there's that anxiety, those voices in your head that be like, oh, they probably think this or that. And so I'm learning to tune those out more. But every time I do show up as my full authentic self, it always, you know, reverts back to people feeling like they can't and having a good time, or meeting somebody, or connecting, networking, you know, all that stuff. So, yeah, you literally do have that freedom, because you, like, I'm not held hostage by other people's opinions of me. And that's a true freedom, because some people live their everyday, not even just, some people operate their social media like that. But then that's one thing. I get it if you're like, I don't want everybody to know all my business. But when you operate in your own reality as that's a lot to do. Like, that's a lot of image to maintain. And I don't got time, baby. I don't got time.
That just goes back to perfection can't do anything for me, because I need to see what's going on, like how you overcame some struggles. That's how most content creators that actually is doing these, like, master classes, they're showing you, like, hey, I went wrong here, and you can learn from me so that you don't have to go through the same thing. And I feel like that's the kind of energy that we put out into the world, period. Like, nah, everything ain't sweet. You gonna go through some stuff. And this is what I went through. So if you see something similar, you know, to diverge to another place. You don't have to go through this. Like,
it's trying to help other people. And it's not even necessarily perfectionism. Because, like, I always say, like, I'm perfectly imperfect, because nothing on this earth is perfect.
But how people see you. Like, how people see you from the outside, they think, oh, wow, everything is gravy.
True.
They see this perfect
and
image.
That takes a toll on people, because, like, so I used to try to be that, like, I put myself on this pedestal and, like, was trying so hard to be perfect and all that. And when that started to crumble down, and I had to really see myself for who you are, like, you don't have to be perfect to be worthy. Like, that's what I thought. Like, I had to get these great grades. I had to always be good. I had to be this to be worthy of something. So when I realized you don't, it was hard to peel back and shit, because people are like, oh, I thought you know, would say that, like, oh, you're I've literally had somebody say, you are the closest thing to pure, you know, I've ever seen anything. And I'm like, don't put that on me. Because then I'm thinking out of my head, and when I'm out here being me, a human being, and, you know, all of that stuff, then I feel like I'm judging myself. But the next person could do it, and I'm giving them grace.
But do you think that comes by your looks? Because I have this perception that people think that the light skin, like, you're a beautiful woman. Light skin, good hair, and nice. Oh, she's pure. But if I was this person that was just like, I'm not saying I am.
No. But colorism is real.
But I'm saying, like, if I had the same personality, they would still think of, like, okay, but something ain't right. Like,
yeah, like, it's got to be something wrong,
yeah.
you know, because of that colorism. No, that definitely could be true. This person specifically, like, at the time, like, I was very big on, like, I'm not having sex till I'm married, you know, all that stuff at that time, like, when I was, like, really. And it was more so out of fear rather than for God. Like, I was saying it was for God, but it was like out of fearful reasons, and because I honestly didn't know, which, I mean, it worked for the time. Like, you know, obviously, like, should have kept going with that. But, but, you know, it worked for the time being. So because, like, I was the only girl that he knew that was, like, on that type of time, and I was, like, serious about it, because at the time when we were dating, like, I wasn't going, there were certain things I would not do because I knew it would lead down, you know, to that. So to him, I think that equated pure at a time where girls was going, and not even going, like, I'm not saying they was just out here, like, here, you can have it, but, like, if you know, did a little something, you can get her to that point. So I think probably also in addition to, you know, like, colorism and, you know, being nice and, you know, people pleasing and all that stuff, that you know, that equated me to being pure. But now coming out of that, like, you know, when we talked about it and where he was referring to the past, like, still referring to me as being pure. Nah, baby, that's not me. Like, I was trying to uphold that image, and it was more so for my mom. Like, I wanted that, going back to, I was trying to prove to my mom that I was going to be all the things that, you know, I could be, or that she said I couldn't be, you know, things like that. So I was doing it for her, which was internalizing with me, but then I was ended up judging myself, and I guess I was showing the world that. And so then when I finally started being like, nah, I'm not perfect, and let me, you know, stop acting like I am, that was a reality check for me, because that perception of myself, and I'm like, I had to start learning how to not judge myself, because then I found myself giving other people grace. I'm like, you ain't gotta be perfect, but then why can't I give myself that grace? And then am I really giving other people grace if I can't even give myself grace? Because it's like, do you really love other people if you don't love yourself? So I was, you know, battling with that now. So now I'm openly like, nah, baby, this is what it looked like. Or, you know, this is what I've been through. Or, you know, all that. And now I feel free because I don't care about, oh, she's not perfect. Baby, you not either. Check that finger.
No, that goes back to God isn't guilt. That's not God.
That's not. That's some fear tactic. And that's heavy on religion of, like, if you don't do this, you're going to go to hell. Now, granted, some of this stuff, it may be a consequence, but I don't want to move because I'm concerned about a consequence. I want to move because I'm doing what God told me to do. I'm walking in love, not in fear and guilt. Very much.
Well, this was a good conversation. This was needed. I hope you guys are getting what y'all need to get.
Yes, I hope something works for you. I hope you in there like, that worked for me, because baby, it be working.
It be working. So we're gonna go ahead and move along to our second to last segment, which is the Bible game.
Yes, y'all. Yeah,
you can purchase that down below.
That link below. Get it for your grannies, your mammies, your uncles, the kids, all that. Yes, all y'all play.
So this is a good one. Okay, Joseph brothers conspired against him to kill him. What did they end up doing? A, buried him alive. B, stabbed him. C, sold him. Or D, beat him to death. I'm going to read the preview for you. Joseph brothers. Joseph is the dreamer. Okay. So Joseph brothers conspired against him to kill him. But what did they end up doing? They buried him alive, they stabbed him, they sold him, or beat him to death. Go with your first mind.
You right. I had to think about what it was. Read it again one more time.
Joseph brothers conspired against him to kill him. What did they end up doing? A, buried him alive. B, stabbed him. C, sold him. D, beat him to death.
Sold him.
So now,
yay!
They sold his ass. They sold his ass. Good job. Good job. That's a good one.
Okay, yes, 2 10.
Good job. Good job. What he say? Good job, Jaria. Good job. All right. So going to go ahead and end this podcast with our question of what doesn't work for us.
Yeah.
So the question for today is, can you deal with someone going through a bad season spiritually? I think I kind of answered that one already.
Yeah. I think that's what comes with boundaries. Like, I've had that, like, I, have family that I'm like, I know you a good person. Like, you my family. But we're not on the same path. Like, you haven't gotten to this point yet. I obviously can't accelerate that for you. But there's certain things I will not tolerate in my life. So I'm going to, like, cut back. Or there's certain things I won't be a part of. Or there's certain conversations we won't have. Now, does that mean I'm just fully cutting you off? No. Like, we can have. But when I feel like my energy's being overworked, or I'm becoming somebody I'm not, or I'm going back to a past where, like we going at it, then I'm going to remove myself from the situation and cool down as long as I need to. Because I feel like when some people say, like, oh, I cut so-and-so off, they think it has to be I never talk to them again. No, you can cut people off in spurts. It can be like when they're going through those bad seasons. Sometimes people need that, because if you constantly going back and y'all cool and kicking it, they think that their actions are okay. Nobody's holding them accountable. But when you say, no, I'm not tolerating that, and, for a beginning, they're probably like, oh, yeah, they cut me off, blah, blah, blah. But when they start really doing the healing work and reflecting, they're like, wow, that's why they don't want to be around me no more. So I can tolerate to a certain extent, but I'm going to set my boundaries. Like, I'm not going to completely cut you off, because I've been through times where, like, if people would have left me out to hang to dry, like, maybe I wouldn't, be who I am today. So I'm going to give you grace, but it's going to look like it within what I can tolerate.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely want to agree with that. I am a person where it's like, I want to help. So, like, if I can give advice or give you or give you a resource, then I definitely want to give that to you so that you can figure out how to find that peace within yourself spiritually. But I know I am an empath. So, like, I can't be around that energy. Like, agreed. I just can't. I would have to distance myself. Like, I'm not going to shut you out where you can't call me if you really need me in the time of need.
Of
like,
course.
I'm not going to do that. But I'm just like,
we ain't going to be kicking it.
Kick it like that. Because, like, I'm going to be, because God is not just like something that's a one-time situation. Like, I'm not going to stop talking about him just because I'm around you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep referring to him just because you are in the mix. Like, so if I know that you feeling like irritated by it, or it's just like, again, I'm just going to be like, I don't need you around me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't need to be around until you can figure out what you want for yourself.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's not like I can't deal with them, but I'm going to be me regardless. And if I can't be me around you, I don't need to be around you.
And sometimes people come back years later. I've heard people say, like, they didn't get along with certain siblings, certain family members or something, like, when they were younger, and now they are the best. So, like, sometimes you need to go your separate ways to go through that and come back together. And so, if you constantly trying to fix people and do all this and be alongside them, you might never come back to that full circle and be cool, because they needed that time to be by themselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well,
so, yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
That's what don't work for us, baby.
No way.
So thank you guys for joining us for another podcast. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Hit us up on Instagram. Yes. Get y'all game cards. Get y'all credit checks down below.
Yes. And let us know what other topics. I mean, we get inspiration from other things. We also have our own topics. But if there's something that's going on, you like, I want to hear about it. Y'all hear y'all's opinions.
Comment below. Send us a DM. Let us know what you think. Yeah, we definitely do. We definitely do. Well, until next time.
Until next time.